All new, all new, all new. Amazon's done this on countless occasions, most recently on the Kindle Scribe, re-releasing the exact same unit with the exact same model number 2 years after the first one. It almost makes you think, what's the point? Well, the point is to revise the unit, fix things up, touch up the trouble spots. People just seem to want to rush to complain all the time, and then when Amazon tries to make an adjustment, they complain even more that nothing's different. Well, today, we're going over the brand new 2025 Generation 2 Colorsoft Signature Edition. A quick chronology for all you guys if you're a little bit confused, and a very quick disclaimer. This unit is not available in all markets. Amazon's PR Japan team ended up sending us this sample because it wasn't available in Canada or America. In October 2024, Amazon released the Colorsoft in select markets, America included. This was based off of the Signature Edition and the Signature Edition only, meaning that you had wireless charging, a light sensor, and 32 gigs onboard storage, whether you liked it or not. It wasn't until 2025 July that the Kindle Colorsoft 16 gig variant came out, to allow people more access to the Colorsoft at a bargain price. However, alongside that was also a release in 2025 of the same month, labeled the all-new Kindle Colorsoft 32 gig Signature Edition. This is not the 2024 release from 9 months prior. This is yet again an all-new Kindle. As we said, the Kindle Scribe 1 and 2, released in 2022 and 2024 respectively, had virtually no differences, yet the label was an all-new Kindle Scribe. So what are the differences between the 2024 and 25? Well, you have to watch the video clip up above, or check out the end roll, as we've already done a pretty extensive video, but the quick notes version is that it has more recycled materials, it's lighter, the backing is different, and it's $20 more than the previous variant. This is a very important note as well. As the 2025 model has come out, you do need to know which one you're buying, because there also is the 2024 model. So if you are buying this secondhand, just make sure you look at the back, because the back will have writing on it on the 32 gigabyte, and the 2024 model will not have any writing whatsoever. The model numbers are the same, you just have to make sure you know which one you are purchasing. Outside of that, there's no differences in the actual core construction, except for that this is lighter than the previous unit. I don't mean intensity, I mean its weight. Its weight is 1 gram lighter. Also, you can see it looks terrible. In fact, if I reach off camera here and grab something white, that's what it should look like, the white. And that's what it looks like, because Kaleido, which is color e-paper, basically everyone uses it. Onyx and bigme and ereader and HighRead and Kobo themselves use this. It all looks like this. It all looks terrible. And that's all we can do. So what we have to do is we have to turn up the intensity and balance it with a little bit of warm light, and then you get that, which is kind of a nice stone. Now you can use the auto brightness via the light sensor up top. That will help you with auto brightness, and you might see that there are some things missing, and what we will find is right here. If we touch the dots, you'll see that we do not have Audible or Goodreads. That is not that this doesn't have it, it's just that we logged into our amazon.co.jp account in order to show parallels between the .com account, but it is still there, it's just not on the device because of the region in which we logged into. For example, if you take the 2024 model and you go to home and you tap the dots, there's Goodreads and there's household sharing settings, and we have Bluetooth, Audible, and whatnot. So it just depends how you log into Amazon. Speaking of Amazon, Amazon owns most of your home screen. Search is Search Kindle for basically things on the store. That is the store. All this stuff is the store. The only thing you get are these little 3.5 icons. That's it. That's yours right there. That's the things you have. In fact, not all of them are yours. Some of them are things you've downloaded prior or samples that are not even on the device. So Amazon is housing those for you. In fact, most of this is Amazon stuff, and it's all unlimited, Prime, sign up with this, log into that. So the thing about Kindle is that you can buy this, never turn on the internet, and just sideload everything in. You can totally do that. Or you can use it via the content that you've purchased on previous Kindle models or your account. Reading is very nice. There's no issues whatsoever, except you always gotta have the glow light on. And that's just a fact. It looks so bad. We're not afraid to say it, and it's a global consensus that just looks terrible. The quality is nice. There's nothing wrong with that. It's the fact that there's a color array filter that makes it so gray. That just looks horrible. So you really do have to leave your light on to get any sort of viability out of it. But when you do, it starts to look really good. In fact, the colors for the highlights look very, very nice. If we can get this to function and click on that and go to some light blue, my favorite color for highlighting, it looks really vibrant. And remember, this is all e-paper. There's no backlight, meaning there's no light coming through the back of the screen. There's no LCD. This is not using any batteries except for, of course, the glow light and all of your wireless services. But if you turn the glow light off in airplane mode like that, your device is no longer using batteries. It will stay like this forever, or until the operating system deems that the battery is too low, intervenes and says low battery. But this screen, if you detach it from the unit and rip it out, it'll look exactly like this, and it'll never change, ever. So that's kind of the beauty of e-paper if you're just joining us in that regard. Reading is very quick. There's no issues. Pinch and zoom is fast. It takes a second to render, but once it does, it's really good. You can change your highlights, your notes. You can click on this, you get some more, you get translation. You can choose a specific range and translate from any language to any language you see on the drop-down menu, including traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese. So it really breaks down the barriers of, well, language barriers. And if you click the top right corner, you make a little bookmark. And if you tap the top, go to text, you can change a bunch of things. Your fonts, your layouts, all of this just changes live in the background, your size, your spacing, and some more settings for additional functionality. So when it comes to reading, there's really no negatives whatsoever. It's fast, it doesn't refresh nearly as much as other devices, you don't see it flashing every page, and there's very little ghosting in the background. We won't dwell too much on this, but yes, it can read manga. So if you open manga, it'll be color, first page, and then you can read the rest of it in black and white, which manga is 98% of the time black and white. If you hold, you also get the rapid page turn system pulled from the manga model that was a Japan exclusive back in the day. But we've covered this so many times. So let's look at what makes this different, starting with the 32 gigs. How exciting is that? Not really, but that's what Amazon sticks with. If you go to device info, you get 24.64 out of 25.21. So inherently, around 7 gigs is earmarked for the operating system. Of that, you get about 24-ish with like one book on there, so that's really not even saying much. Also, you have wireless charging. This isn't the official Amazon wireless charger, it's over there, but it will work. So if you put it like that, you will see that it is now charging. So that's all you need to do, which is kind of cool. My Sony Xperia 1, it's very useful to just throw it on a wireless charger. Now you don't need to charge these nearly as much as smartphones, so it's more of a gimmicky type thing because you only need to charge it once and then it lasts for, well, as we have done our testing, 57 days. But it is cool how you just pick it up and away it goes. Although you have to plug this in, so I mean, you're plugging it into something else. So you're really not saving any time, except for every time you have to charge, you just put it down. It is quite silly. Also, if we turn on the auto brightness, you'll see that it deemed 13 better than 17 that I chose. So if I go like this and I crank it and I turn auto brightness, it says no, 13 is better. I don't agree with that, so go away 13 and let's get back to 17, 18. That's it. That is the differences between this and the 16 gig. And those are the differences between this and the 2024 model, is that we've already covered 5 times already. It has more recycled plastic, it's lighter, it's more expensive. So I guess there's nothing much left to do but look at the web browser. This will be a good time to look at the keyboard as well. So we'll click on here and you see you have a traditional QWERTY keyboard, and it does have staggered keys as well. So if we type in goodereader.com, press enter, we should go over to our news publication. Once we are here, this is when Amazon does something. It turns into a little bit of an A2 mode. Now, it's not as good as other devices. For example, Pocketbook doesn't have a user selectable mode either, but they do a far better job of web browsing than Amazon does. This is choppy to say the least, and only the middle portion is turning into that speed mode. The top is exempt. You will see here that it's not moving. Overall, the speed of everything is fine. It's just not the best web browser. Amazon has never had the best web browser. They have been experimental for around 10 generations in and of itself, and now that they're stable, it's not even really that great. And no, if you're asking, no, they don't have any way to speed it up. They do have article mode, which is kind of nice. It skins everything and makes it more of an e-book, but I mean, this is not really new either. I mean, Barnes & Noble's already had that. This isn't doing anything groundbreaking, and even then, it's really choppy, and turning pages, aka scrolling in this sense, is pretty paltry. It's not a very good experience whatsoever, the web browser, but if you needed it, it is there. Outside of that, you have Amazon Kids, you have Your List, you have Settings, and you have Legal. We're not going to look at Settings. We're just going to go over to Library and show you guys what it looks like. So this is everything that is either on your device, or if you click something, it's going to be queued to download from your account, and your account will be whatever you're logged in with. In this case, it is my second Kindle located in our Japanese corporate sign-in account. But other than that, you get Vivid and Standard, which honestly isn't that much different. We did a side-by-side before, which we'll probably throw in this video as well, and we didn't really see a night and day difference between the two. On Vivid mode, I suppose the oranges are a little more orangey, and if you go to Standard mode, they start to be a little bit more, I guess, light and powdery, but really it's not like the color controls you get on a bigme or an onyx or anything that gives you sort of functionality beyond that point. It is just this kind of little toggle. It's there as a pleasantry, but it doesn't do much. And furthermore, the final thing is you get dark mode. Dark mode will switch the blacks to whites, the whites to black. This is exempt from manga, of course, because then it would look like a negative. It would look like a photo negative back in the day when we had those Fujifilm cameras, so it'll really only apply to text. So with the color version, it's not very useful because you would never find yourself really going to the dark mode because the reading experience is just kind of that bad. But that essentially wraps up all the differences and why you would buy a 32 gig 2025 Signature Edition. Is the 2025 Colorsoft any different than the 24? Yeah, it is. If there were no differences, trust us, we wouldn't waste our time. But this is our job. We need to nitpick. We need to split hairs, and we need to investigate into situations such as this. Amazon reached out to us and sent us this unit for a reason, all while confirming that it is indeed different. This is not a revelation. Amazon has done this so many times in the past, it's getting confusing as to what unit exactly is what. But if you guys have anything else to say, leave some comments down below and let's stimulate some stimulating conversation. See you on the next one.